It is time for another one of these Dave and Darren Top 5 Thing podcasts. These are the top 5 things we got done on our morning show, which I'll put in a quick plug you can listen to on our new home, Planet 93.9. My name is Dave. This guy's name is Darren. Hey, Darren.
Hello. This podcast is brought to you by Nature's Treatment of Illinois. Their goal is to fully understand their clients' needs physically, mentally, and emotionally because they know it's not easy to live with a chronic illness. You can check them out and sign up for the newsletter and connect with Nature's Treatment if you do so on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm excited to get this one started. Let's do this.
Number one.
Number one.
Do you have your phone figured out?
No.
You still don't have the battery installed? Have you gotten any updates from the people that are working on your phone?
The update is that the battery's not there yet.
Okay, so they're waiting on a battery to come from Hong Kong or something?
Who knows?
How does that work?
I have no idea. I haven't really had any correspondence with them, being that I don't have a phone.
Did you, I'm wondering if you took your phone to the same place I took my my desktop.
I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Because that was 2.5 months.
I tend to think these people are just actually waiting on the battery to show up. And
Okay.
Once that shows up, they will put it in and see if the phone works. And if it doesn't, well, then we're moving on to purchasing a new phone, which is maybe where I should have been a week ago.
This is where I want to have a conversation with you and with everyone. There's a new Apple iPhone 12 series. And one of the features on this Apple iPhone is a strong magnet that's in the phone. Now, the magnet is there to help the Apple MagSafe accessory maximize charging, right? It's able to, you put it on there and it aligns in such a way so you don't have to think about it and it just charges without having to plug the damn thing in all the time.
Yeah.
Which seems like, that seems like it makes sense, right? Here is the issue that they're discovering. The magnet in the new
Pacemakers.
iPhone 12 deactivates implantable cardiac devices.
Right.
Just shuts them off. An expert, Dr. Singh, in cardiac electrophysiology. That's a specialty that deals with various electrical and rhythm disorders of your ticker. This is a guy who's an expert in the devices like your defibrillators, right? Your things that detect your regular heartbeat and then shock the heart back into a normal rhythm, and pacemakers, which use electricity to keep your heart beating. There are 300,000 of us that have one of these things implanted in us each and every year.
Yeah, that's right.
And the magnets in the iPhones deactivate them.
So your phone's charged, but Grandpa isn't.
Well, listen, I mean, it's a matter of which
It
one
was
do you
a
have more
good run.
Who do you have more use for? Cardiac devices have switches which respond to an external magnet to change how the device functions. For a defibrillator, the magnet can be used to turn the device off. For a pacemaker, a strong magnet can make the device deliver electrical impulses that cause the heart to beat out of sync. And then you go into ventricular fibrillation, and that's not great. This doctor is saying we are not going to be able to perform surgery every time we need to control one of these devices. That's why we engineered them, so that we can use strong magnets over the chest to turn things on and off. But if this iPhone 12 is doing that, that's not great.
Is that a feature that you can have on your phone where you could shock somebody with it?
If that were a feature, it would be number one in the App Store. And I would totally have that on my phone.
I mean, is there a Taser app?
No. No, we're not there yet.
I bet we are. It's not.
Well-
It's not a matter of we can't do it. It's just.
They said they brought an iPhone close to a patient's chest when they heard about this magnet because they just wanted to see. And
Did they tell the patients?
Yes, yes.
Hey, go to-
I'm going to check something out on you. They say we brought the iPhone close to the patient's chest and the defibrillator was deactivated. We were all stunned. We had assumed that the magnet would be too weak in a phone to trip the
Oh, no.
defibrillator's magnet switch.
No, not the iPhone 12.
So now they're kind of warning people,
This might not be the phone for you.
don't get this for Grandpa unless, he's mentioned you in the will prominently. Then go ahead and get it for him. I don't know. The fact that these iPhone 12 magnets can turn off your pacemakers, that's not great. They say here in their study that was published in the medical journal Heart Rhythm, and yes, we do subscribe to that. They say, we believe our findings have profound implications on a large scale for the people who live daily with these devices, who without thinking will place their phone in their shirt pocket or upper pocket or their coat,
Or in the crotch.
not knowing that it can cause their defibrillator or pacemaker to function in a way that could potentially be lethal. I submit to you that older folks with these heart devices are the more likely demographic to put their phone in a shirt pocket because they're the ones that have shirt pockets.
Right? For the smokes.
Well, which I don't think you should have smokes if you've got a pacemaker. That's probably something.
Don't tell me how to live.
That's probably something your doctor's already had a conversation with you about. But yeah, be very, very aware of this. You don't want to get the iPhone 12.
All right. So how long before these phones and their big magnets start disabling other things, like your car or a plane?
I sent a text and a 747 landed in my backyard.
Oh, sure. Sure. You can charge your phone in 3 seconds, but you're also bringing down commercial planes.
I like, too, that the accessory, by the way, is called the MagSafe. MagSafe, the stackable magnetic case there. The MagSafe. Not safe, really. I would argue the opposite of safe. It can kill people.
Number 2.
We were just joking around about the idea of, going back to bed as if that were a choice that someone could actually make. Although I imagine there are enough people who planned ahead and took today off. The day after the Super Bowl is a day when a lot of people call in sick anyway, right? Or have scheduled the day off, right?
I suppose.
That's something you've been lobbying for some time.
Well, Super Saturday.
You want Super Bowl Saturday. That's right.
Super Saturday. And the same thing should be going on with your college football. When you do your national championship, they play it on a Monday night. That's the only game that ever gets played on a Monday during the entire college season. College football Saturdays are known for that.
I'm going to also, again, make my annual pitch that the kickoff should happen at 3:30 in the afternoon, not 5:30 in the afternoon.
Good call.
There's no reason for... it got to a point last night where the game was boring enough, so I just went to bed. But...
I mean, it's a Super Bowl. If you're going to charge people, whatever it is, $2 million or whatever it is for a 60-second spot, we're going to do that at 3 o'clock, the same as 5.
It's about eyeballs, not when the eyeballs are watching.
Right.
And also, I would say, now, obviously they know better than I do, but if the game is earlier, more people are watching it if it's not 10:30. I mean, what was it, 10:30 on the East Coast when that game ended? Who's still up and watching at that time? And if it's a blowout like last night's game was, people check out. That doesn't do you any good if you spend millions of dollars for a 30-second spot and it's in the fourth quarter and everybody's bailed because they got to go to bed.
Now, do we have any New England Patriot fans out there?
That's a great call because we're curious. What's in your head when you see Tom Brady and Gronk winning the Super Bowl? Are you happy?
Yes. Are you happy for them individually? Or does it pain you?
Patriots didn't even make the playoffs.
Not even close.
And here's Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, which, I think we act like, well, of course that happened. I didn't think that was going to happen.
What?
And then when he went to Tampa Bay, it's like he's going to get his ass kicked down there.
He'll get snapped in two.
I mean, they were talking yesterday like this was...
this was
a foregone conclusion the minute he announced his free agency. I kept thinking, this is what happens. These quarterbacks leave the franchise that made them famous when they're of a certain age, and then they go and they get their clock cleaned, right? Joe Namath with the Chargers,
no,
right?
Rams.
The Rams. It was Unitas who went to the Chargers.
That's right.
Montana had some success in Kansas City, but never took them to a Super Bowl. There was all this talk like, well, of course this happened because it's the great Tom Brady. I wouldn't have bet that he was going to win the Super Bowl. In fact, I bet this weekend actual money that he wouldn't win the Super Bowl. I thought all I got to give up is 3 points. This is like making money. It wasn't.
No.
It was not like making money.
No. All I know is the Bears beat the Buccaneers.
So the Bears are Super Bowl champs.
Essentially.
Too. I mean, by the process
by
of
default.
elimination. Did you see where now the Bears are getting Carson Wentz?
You know, it's strange because I was thinking this weekend, now who are the Bears going to end up with?
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, you know who they're going to end up with? That big dope is who they're going to end up with. And I'm thinking that's who they're going to end up with. And as soon as I thought that, all of a sudden it started trending that the Bears were going to get Carson Wentz.
Almost like you thought
Almost
it into
like
existence.
I willed it to happen.
Uh-huh.
It's like, you know what? That would make perfect sense. So you're telling me that the Bears are going to have Carson Wentz and Nick Foles? That's who you got? You got the Eagles' first and second string quarterbacks, whatever combination that is.
Well, you know, they did win a Super Bowl 3 years ago, so there's that.
Mm-hmm. They built a statue for me.
Yeah.
Not here in Chicago, but
Very much looking forward to the baseball season now, right? Isn't that
I don't know why the Dodgers are going to win.
They're not going to even win the. I don't think they're even going to win the West, frankly.
Padres
When the hell does the baseball season begin anyway?
You know, the
huh?
Padres are my team.
Since when?
Well, yeah. That's
Padres?
where my foster dog went.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the Padres win the West.
Well, that's who I'm cheering
I think
for.
this Trevor Bauer is going to be a bad idea.
They've got everybody. They just go buy everyone.
Well, we'll see how that pans out. Can't wait for the baseball season to begin. Pitchers and catchers in like 2 weeks, right?
Should be a week.
Next week. It's
Should be-
next week.
Next week.
Jeez, that's great. More of that news, please. This is a bit we used to do on the old show, and we're bringing it back. Charles Darwin wrote a book, 1859, called The Origin of the Species. And one way of oversimplifying what Darwin teaches us is the slower and dumber animals need to die off. This is sad news for those animals, but it's good news for the species. It's time for Dave and Darren's Thinning the Herd. I have 2 stories here of people who were with us at the beginning of the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They're not here this morning because of some very dumb
of
decisions.
stupidity?
Yes, this is absolute stupidity. I want to say at the outset, thoughts and prayers to the families of these idiots. 20-year-old man shot and killed in Nashville on Friday night in what police say was a YouTube video shoot gone horribly wrong. Timothy Wilkes was shot by a 23-year-old named David Starnes Jr. who's claiming self-defense. Wilkes and some of his buddies were trying to pull a prank on strangers in the hope of going viral on YouTube.
That's always a good idea.
Here's how this went down. Parking lot of a trampoline and adventure park in a strip mall in Nashville. The place is called Urban Air. Wilkes and a buddy would approach people they did not know while wielding butcher knives.
Great.
And then we'll film their reaction to see what happens. Well, this Starnes, who's 23 years old, was one of the people that they jumped out at with butcher knives for a hilarious prank, and he ain't playing.
No, I carry a gun.
Did not realize that Wilkes was filming a prank, so to protect himself and others from a perceived threat, killed this guy. Metro Police say they will not file charges against David Starnes Jr., but an investigation is still underway. This was supposed to be a fake robbery. So maybe his friends will deal with some criminal charges as well, the friends of the hilarious prankster on YouTube. It's horrifying that this happened, but the senselessness of it makes you think, I don't know, why would you pull something like this off?
If you get introduced to anybody
Yeah.
and they're introduced as a YouTuber,
Yeah.
just keep walking.
Yeah, I won't have anything to do
what,
with that.
What?
I make my money on YouTube
Okay.
doing pranks. And with everything that's going on, listen, we are all of us. I'm going to speak for all of us for a moment. We're all already at like a 9 out of 10. We don't need to be introducing more stress to people with hilarious YouTube pranks. Also, how is that funny? Let's see what people do when we jump out of the bushes with knives.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot of imagination, does it?
I'm not saying I wouldn't watch a YouTube prank show if the pranks were, clearly hilarious and well thought out and no one was going to get blown away. An adult is allowed to legally carry a knife of any type or length in Nashville as long as you don't bring it on school property. And you can have a handgun. You can carry a handgun if you're 21 or over. Even without a permit, you can carry a handgun openly as long as you're also not carrying ammunition. The point is, you can have a knife, but to jump out of the bushes and film a prank where you're robbing people, that's a great way to get killed, as this 20-year-old found out over the weekend. As dumb as that was, I've got one even dumber. Saturday night, a man was killed after shrapnel from an exploding cannon used at a baby shower struck and killed him. A homeowner fired a small cannon device in the backyard at 7:30 p.m. to celebrate a baby's pending arrival. The homeowner purchased the cannon.
Is the baby here yet? No, it's close. Go ahead and fire the cannon.
What are you doing? How is firing a cannon off something you do at a baby shower? I'll confess I've never been to one, but that seems like, I don't know, needless?
It's going to wake the baby.
Or spook it out of the uterus.
Or
Jesus, what's going on?
maybe that's what they were thinking. You know what? She's 2 weeks overdue. Fire the cannon.
The homeowner had just purchased this cannon at an auction. The cannon is designed to create a big flash.
See, that's the problem with buying a cannon.
Yeah. I got this at an auction.
I gotta use it.
So he knows he needs to make a couple birdies coming in. Jeez, Louise.
Got it at the cannon auction.
Play that again and listen to the conversation. You can kind of hear the conversations of the crowd.
Jeez, Louise.
The victim was rushed to a medical center where he
God, I
died
missed that golf tournament.
from his cannon. It'll be back.
I know.
He died from his injuries. The bomb squad ended up having to go to this house to investigate the incident.
You know, they used to light off a cannon. They used to fire a cannon at the high school football games
Okay.
in Oregon.
Yeah.
Now, this would have been, I don't remember them doing it when I was in high school, but when I was younger as a kid, they had, I don't know, it was someone that, I don't know if it was a Union member or a Confederate member, but they had
A Confederate.
they had someone who would
Like a reenactment?
or like a reenactment
Okay.
or whatever.
Okay.
And someone had a cannon, and they would fire the cannon off whenever the team would score a touchdown, which was not a lot back in the 70s.
Yeah.
So you weren't firing the cannon off all that often, but yeah, they used to fire off. I wonder why that never went poor.
What is, okay, it's the Orion Chargers. What does a cannon have to do with anything?
It was someone had a cannon.
Well,
Someone
how
had
does-
a cannon, and
how does that tie into your
bringing
theme?
It, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised it never went into the side of an RV or something.
They put like cannonballs in it?
Oh, I don't know what they were.
That doesn't make a lick of sense.
I don't know if they were firing actual cannonballs or not.
That doesn't make a lick of sense. Well, two people that aren't with us on Monday morning, and again, thoughts and prayers with their families. These are sad ways to die, and it just goes to what I've always said. I just want, when my time comes, when the bell tolls for me, I just want to make sure that it's not awkward for people to go to the wake. Because I don't know what you say when you go to a wake for somebody who died as a result of a knife-wielding YouTube prank or a cannon at a baby shower.
Well, here, this would be a suggestion I would make then. If you make it understood that there will be no service of any kind, that there will be no wake, that there's nothing, you don't have to feel that way anymore. Then you can, then anything goes.
But I want a wake.
Why?
Because I want you guys to get together and tell stories about me.
Tell stories.
Great. So if I go before you and people are going to be like, you knew him probably better than just about anyone, Darren. Tell us about Dave. And you'll be like, mind your business. Tell stories.
He dressed up like a Hooter girl.
Don't tell that story. See,
Oh, now you're editing with stories I can tell?
I don't want him to be awkward is what I just told you. Don't.
You're the one who did it.
Well, I mean, I guess if I died dressed as a Hooters girl, that would be a story I wouldn't want you to tell. Go ahead and tell
I wouldn't have to tell the story. Everyone would know that. Local DJ dies dressed as Hooters girl. And it just happened to be a slow news day, so they put it on the front page.
Great.
Headlines.
Great. Dies in gender bending related.
Dies the way you lived. And they've even got stock footage of when you did dress up like
Well, I
Hooter.
hope they show when I did it 20 years ago.
Yeah, right.
I had quite a shape then.
Look at compare the two. Side by side photos. Yeah, slow news day.
File footage, if you please.
Slow news day.
Our continuing coverage.
The continuing coverage of this dummy.
There's nothing else going on in town
There's
today.
nothing going on in the entire state of East Dakota.
Number 3.
New era of Mars exploration begins today. The United Arab Emirates has a spacecraft that's going to Mars today.
See, I can see them just attaching a rocket to one of their skyscrapers and sending it up there.
I had no idea they had a space program. The Hope spacecraft arriving at Mars today, the first of 3 such arrivals planned for this month. The United Arab Emirates probe will be near Mars later on today, and the mission will make a final 27-minute orbital insertion burn. That's going underway. Well, let's see. Right about now.
I remember climbing a rope once and getting that.
A orbital insertion burn?
On the way down.
Yeah. I got one of those when I was stationed in the Philippines. We ate shore leave.
We had shore leave.
I went to a place called Madam Chang's. And
That was on Friday night of the shore leave. Oh, I was bedridden. I mean, burning badly.
Now, the plan is for this thing to be followed by a Chinese probe. And then NASA's Perseverance rover. So there's 3 different crafts
So,
from 3
we're all
different countries.
teaming up?
We're all going to Mars at the same time? Tense moments awaiting all 3 missions because reaching Mars is only the first step in a complex series of maneuvers to either gain in a precise intended orbit or land on the surface. When it arrives, the NASA rover will make a brief automated trip through the atmosphere to land in a crater that's filled with boulders and fields of sand. Space sand!
Someone gets Sting on the line.
Bryony Horgan is a scientist for the NASA Perseverance team. Says we've spent 8 years preparing, so it's a little overwhelming that all of that hangs on just 7 minutes of nail-biting descent through the atmosphere to the surface. They are eagerly awaiting science and images from all 3 missions. However, celebrations will be virtual and distanced because of the pandemic that's going on. All 3 of these probes took off in July, and they're getting to Mars, well, the first one today.
The race is on.
That's a 300 million mile journey from here to Mars. And they had to go in July because that's when Mars made its closest approach to Earth. All of the buildings in Dubai are lit up red to commemorate the arrival on Mars, according to the United Arab Emirates Space Agency. The probe that's landing there right now, their 2-year mission will be to gain the most complete data about the atmosphere of Mars, including Mars' summers and winters, its day and its night at all locations around the planet.
Nothing ever happens on Mars.
If it's successful, the United Arab Emirates would become the 5th nation to reach the planet Mars. Can you name the other 4?
The other 4?
Yeah, I'll put 30 seconds on the clock. It's time to play Who's Been to Mars? And the host of Who's Been to Mars, Dave Lavora. Thank you, Dave. Our returning champion, Darren Pitra. It says here on my card, Darren, that you're good at Google.
I'm also good at karate moves.
I just told you that this United Arab Emirates would be the 5th nation to get a craft to Mars. Can you name the other 4? 30 seconds on the clock.
I will say the US of A.
That is correct. That is one, yes.
I'm going to go with Russia.
Russia is correct.
I'm going to go with France.
And
I will also go with Japan.
all right.
China.
Which one?
China.
All right. So your answers are, I've got you locked in for United States, Russia, France, and you say China.
Not France.
You did say France.
I'll go with France.
You suck.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, the first 4 nations to get to Mars are in this order: the United States of America, Russia, China, and India. Oh, we were looking for India.
By the way of France, using French technology.
French Indians. The first landing on the red planet was, in fact, the Soviet Union in 1971, the Mars 3 mission. But here's the thing. The Russians got to Mars. They landed there, but it stopped transmitting data, I should say. They stopped transmitting data after 14 seconds on the planet. 14 seconds, and it just stopped working. The first photos
Bang on it.
back from Mars. That's something we got taken care of with the Viking missions back in 1976. Mars will be visited by this Hope craft later on today, and then tomorrow it will fire thrusters for 27 minutes to spin around and begin backing into orbit that it'll need to in order to survey the Martian atmosphere. Right now it's doing about 75,000 miles per hour. It will slow down to 11,200 miles per hour. So that's really
still quick.
Putting on the brakes, but yeah.
Number 4.
This guy loves animals, and he's looking at his yard, and he sees a bird that has been injured, and it's by where his garden is, and he's very concerned because this bird isn't moving, and it looks like it's, near the end, about to go on the old Rainbow Bridge, and he's worried that maybe a cat has fatally injured the bird. They do that, Cats that are allowed to go outside, they kill a lot of birds. So for whatever reason, this guy, he's a dedicated animal lover. He puts a picture up online of the injured bird on his lawn and shares it with everybody, saying he's just so concerned about this bird and it's not moving. And he posts it, and people are saying, oh gosh, that's terrible, and cat probably did it, and he keeps watching it, and people are asking him for updates. Everyone very concerned about this dying bird.
Neighbor kid probably did it.
That's on the lawn. Yeah, not a neighbor kid.
No, keep an eye on that one.
Right. So
everyone, let's agree to keep an eye on that.
He shares the picture online, and people are feeling terrible. Feeling sorry for, here's one, feeling sorry for a bird that's obviously been injured by a cat just sitting there on the lawn all morning, unable to escape. And after a couple of hours, it just kind of dominates your thoughts when you see an animal in distress like that. So he gets closer to see, what, if anything, he can do for the bird. And it turns out there wasn't really anything he could do for the bird because the bird was a leaf.
Yes.
You saw that coming a mile away.
Yes. Well, I didn't know it was going to be a leaf necessarily, but I knew it wasn't going to be a bird.
It was a leaf. 4 hours of just agonizing over this poor dying bird. It's a big leaf. That's all it is. Now, the leaf was dead, but not the same.
Did someone then comment that was a relief?
Yeah, well, somebody comments here, well, at least you know it's okay. Here's another comment. In your defense, that's a convincing leaf bird if you squint and you're 10 feet away and you've had a couple of beers. He says the picture doesn't do it justice, but yeah, it sure looked like
in real time, it seemed like a bird.
He said there's a bit in front where you can make out in the pic where it looks like there's a beak. No.
God is my witness, I saw a beak on that leaf.
No, that's just the stem of a leaf. So the good news is the bird's going to be fine. The bad news is the bird's not a bird.
Did he save the leaf? Did he bring that in?
Yeah, then it becomes a who cares just because it's a leaf. Listen, that leaf probably had some stories to tell.
I will name him Ryan. And he will live with me now.
I have a friend who once was walking in the East Village, there in the East Village of Davenport there, and she was walking around and she saw a kitty that was standing on a porch. And being someone who loves cats, she called out, "Here, kitty, kitty," or, "You're a nice kitty."
Why are you doing that?
Well, I just wanted to say hello,
But it's on its porch.
Well, but it's outside. I think she was just saying hello, maybe just to get a meow back. She didn't want to, take it out to lunch. Was just saw a cat on a porch and said, hello to the cat. And the cat just stared at her.
Uh-huh.
Just stared at her. And she
What did you
stood
just
there.
say to me? That cat's thinking?
Who do you think you are? And she stands there, and now her feelings are hurt because the cat isn't moving, and it's just staring at her, and she's trying her best to win this cat over. She's made a decision. I'm not leaving this spot here in the East Village until...
You're trying to lure the cat away from its home?
No, just wanted to say hello. So she's saying, who's a pretty kitty? And you're a pretty girl, and you're a nice kitty. And she's just standing there calling out to this cat on the porch. And then after about
Wait a minute.
4 or 5 minutes.
Wait a minute, it dawns on me. That's no cat.
No, it was a wooden owl.
Yeah.
It was a wooden owl, and she got her feelings hurt because
By
it
a
wouldn't.
wooden owl.
Yeah, because it wouldn't meow back to her. They don't do that. They're made out of wood. Also, owls don't meow. They say who if they talk, which they don't.
Right. Who's there is the best you're going to get.
That's it. Maybe it'll tell you how many licks can get to the center of a Tootsie
But
Pop.
not a wooden one.
No.
Her feelings were still hurt?
No, once she realized it was a wooden owl, she felt ridiculous and then looked around to see if anybody saw this insane woman talking to a wooden owl.
Talking to a hunk of wood.
Right. Is this going to end up going viral? Is this a thing now?
I will call him Log.
Woodsy the owl. Isn't that the owl that told us to give a hoot and not pollute? Now, he wasn't made out of wood. He lived in the woods, you see.
Uh-huh.
Just standing there devastated that she's not getting any reaction out of this cat. Because, again, it was a wooden owl.
Is that what all living things think of me? I can't even get a reaction.
I'm not saying I want to...
I'm invisible to all of you, aren't I?
I think that was going through her head. Why can't I get... Why won't you say hello to me back? What goes on with you? I get nothing? You're just going to stand there and watch me like that? Yep. 3 minutes. Which is an eternity when you're talking to a wooden bird.
It's true. Just time it. You try it.
Yeah. Next time you're in the village of East Davenport, go look for that owl. See if you can get it to move or meow or purr or anything.
If you don't think 3 minutes is a long time, why don't you go outside right now
Yeah.
and start doing some wind sprints? And tell me it's not that 3 minutes isn't a long time.
Suzanne Summers was streaming a makeup tutorial from her home in Palm Springs. This was on Friday.
First thing you said, the first thing that went into my head, I thought you were talking about her showing you how to apologize
Why would that be a thing?
to make up.
Not that kind of makeup.
This is what you do if you need to apologize to somebody.
I've been meaning to say I'm sorry to Joyce DeWitt for what I put her through.
She knows why.
Let's get her on the blower. No, a makeup tutorial. She was at her house there in Palm Springs. This was Friday. She's on Facebook Live showing people how to put on their, I imagine, Suzanne Summers makeup, right?
That's appropriate for someone her age, I guess, huh?
How old do you think she is?
72?
She's 74. So she's live on Facebook doing the tutorial. By the way, Suzanne Summers, if you believe her, doesn't fart. She hasn't farted in decades.
Is that because of the Thigh Master?
I think it's because she claims she is on some sort of diet where she hasn't passed gas in decades.
And the Thigh Master.
I think, yeah. I think that Thigh Master, if anything, would encourage.
I think you would too.
Right. She claims she's on some sort of super diet that she hasn't had any flatulence in decades.
Huh.
Which, of course, is impossible. She's on Facebook Live when a naked home intruder interrupts her tutorial.
What?
Yeah. She's on Facebook Live. She pauses during the live stream and tells her husband she heard strange noises off camera.
Breaks in the house?
So, yes, a near-naked home intruder busts into the Suzanne Summers estate while she's on the internet telling people how to put on their makeup. She tells her husband, I'm hearing strange noises. And her husband, Alan Hamill, tells her, quote, that's just a frog.
A frog? Why would you think it's a frog? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's a frog. Keep going. Keep selling this makeup, baby.
What do you think you're in a fairy tale?
Summers turns to her left after hearing more noises and sees this naked intruder who remains off camera during their conversation.
So we don't see the naked intruder.
She was calm and spoke gently to the intruder, who told Suzanne Summers he was terrified of something.
Would you like me to put some makeup on you?
There were ghosts following me, he says.
Oh, brother.
The intruder identifies himself as Aaron Carpenter. And then he asks Suzanne Summers. So he's this naked home intruder. And he asks Suzanne Summers, I'm Aaron Carpenter. Have you ever heard of me?
What?
He claimed that he was led to the Summers home by a friend. This prompted the intruder to claim that he was, quote, not a scary person whatsoever. Summers tells him that he seems like a nice person, but he needs to leave. He claimed that he brought the couple a gift, which they quickly declined. He then says, God bless you, and leaves, and Suzanne Summers continues with
Now let's get back to the makeup.
their makeup tutorial. Cops later caught up with this maniac and advised him not to trespass on private property. No citation was issued.
What? No field test?
How do you not issue a citation?
You can't do that.
I'm Aaron Carpenter. Have you ever heard of me, Suzanne Summers? First of all, the song clearly states you are to knock on their door.
Yes.
Come and knock on our door, not help yourself to our place. I'm Aaron Carpenter. Have you ever heard of me?
I think it's a frog. Frog?
I'm hearing noises, Alan. I think someone's
That's
breaking into
probably
our
a
home.
big frog.
That's a hell of a frog. Hello.
When's the last time you saw a frog in your house?
When's the last time a frog made such a noise that you thought it was an intruder?
Or a frog?
The encounter lasted for 4 minutes, and it's captured near the end of her 49-minute broadcast. She's talking about how she likes to apply her favorite lipstick, and then she stops. She says, is somebody there? And her husband, Alan, says, nah, it's nothing. She says, I know I just heard a person. He says, really? And then you hear this guy's voice off camera going, I'm here, hi. He says he was terrified because he thought ghosts were following him.
Frog ghosts?
You shouldn't be here, she says. And then Alan Hamill says, yeah, this is our house.
Thanks, Alan.
You know, so help me, I thought it was a frog.
It's not a frog, Alan. Well, I know that now.
Hamill crosses into camera range as he walks through the background of the broadcast in order to show the guy out. It'd be funnier if he, like, uses Suzanne Summers as some sort of human shield for this maniac. Suzanne Summers' comedic timing kicks into gear. She quickly turns her head and stares wide-eyed into the camera, wordlessly appearing to question the oddness of what just happened.
Wah, wah, wah.
She says, I'm sorry to the camera. I'm as shocked as you all are. I've never had anybody just walk onto my property. He acted like it was okay. It is not okay. Why wouldn't you press charges against this guy? They've lived in this house for more than 40 years. And they just put this place on the market for $8.5 million because they say it's time to downsize. Also, there's a problem with frogs, apparently.
Or at least the frogs have access.
You're not supposed to be here.
What's that?
Well, I'd like to give you a gift.
I literally just came down
The hill?
right
Oh,
here.
you were hiking?
You should go back that way right now.
Yeah, I brought a gift of like
Okay.
special mud.
Yeah, I don't want anything. You seem like a very nice person, but you shouldn't be here.
Alrighty.
All right.
Please go back where you
You're
came.
Susan, right?
Alan, why don't you take him?
Go back the way you came.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
God bless you.
Thank you. Maybe Michael can take him down to the bottom of the hill, Alan.
Yeah, roll
Roll
this
him
guy.
down the hill.
Put him in a barrel. Hit him in the head with a wrench and roll him down the hill, would
Guess
you?
whose turn it is to be in the barrel?
And you said this barrel was an unnecessary purchase.
I told you it'd come in handy.
I swear to God, Suzanne, I thought it was a frog.
Okay, we're going to take care of this guy, and then I'm going to go out and run an errand. Well, what are you going to go do? I'm going to go buy a new barrel.
Come and break in our house. Offer Suzanne a gift. Your husband thinks that it's a frog. Three's company too. Wow. I gotta say this for Suzanne Summers.
Yeah, no, she was
Cool under pressure.
absolutely. Well,
I think-
she's a star.
Doesn't break any of. Like I would be freaking out saying,
Yeah.
call the cops. No.
No, I'd be stabbing this guy already.
And then we're getting a new barrel.
No.
That barrel's already had one weirdo
No,
in it.
that character would already be pepper sprayed, and I would have cut his head off by then. Is that an overreaction? Sure.
Feed him to the frogs.
Sure.
Feed him to the frogs that are also a menace on this property.
I would have made my way through that esophagus already.
Now, then, did your house make weird noises because of the cold this weekend?
Not that I know of.
Everyone's homes were expanding and contrasting because the weather is so cold here. And some people were thinking it was frost quakes. It's just your house, when it gets to be below zero like this, your house will make weird noises. I was up all night. What was it?
I was making
Saturday,
weird noises, but not the house.
Saturday into Sunday, I got up a couple times in the night because there were some loud bangs. And from now on, whenever there's loud bangs and my wife wants me to check something out, I'm just going to go, it's probably frogs.
Probably a frog.
My guess is that's a frog. That's all it is.
It's like when we had that earthquake and Rhonda thought there was ghosts. And I said it's probably an earthquake. And I had never even been through an earthquake before.
Right, but
I knew better.
ghosts makes more sense than frogs to me, frankly. if there's some sort of weird, although this guy thought he was being chased by ghosts, but if you're hearing noises, it sounds like there's a person in your home.
Yeah.
If you're going to tell me it's a ghost or frogs, I think I would believe a ghost before I would believe frogs.
What about frog ghosts?
Now you've blown my mind.
All over, Rock?
I guess so.
I didn't think it'd be like this.
And that's Dave and Darren's Top 5 Things. Thanks so much for downloading and subscribing and liking and leaving reviews. Most importantly, thanks for listening to the podcast, Dave and Darren's Top 5 Things, brought to you by Nature's Treatment of Illinois.
They have 2 locations, one in Milan on Tech Drive and also one in Galesburg on West Main Street. Milan's open every day. Galesburg's open weekdays and Saturdays. The Milan store offers both medicinal and recreational. Galesburg is recreational only. The recreational waiting list, those are available if you go to their website, which is ntillinois.com.
Till next time, hang loose, kooks.
You stay classy and safe, Quad Cities.
Come on, Quad Cities, representing. This is for the Quad Cities record spot. Davenport, yeah, we keep it block. Rock, guys, come on, and it just don't stop. East Moline, yeah, they keeping it